Thanks for joining us for our next video here from Howard Piano Industries. We welcome you to our workshop here, where we're going to show you today some of the piano voicing tools that we have. And these are hammer voicing tools, a number of different things. Voicing is the act of working with the hammer felt to make it either brighter or more mellow sounding, or changing the tone of the piano by working with the felt in a hammer. And there's a number of different tools that we have available that that can help you work with the hammer felt. What happens is here we've got an old grand piano hammer. As you can see, it's flat on the top, which isn't how it was when it was new. This is a brand new hammer that hasn't been used before, but as you can see, this hammer is well worn and actually has been, looks like somebody just flattened, filed it off flat on the top of it to take out some of the grooves. There's a better way to do that, but that's the condition of this hammer. So you might run into hammers like that, or hammers get grooves in the face of, or in the top of the hammer as it gets played more, because as it strikes the strings, it's going to pack down that felt, and over the years that needs to be worked with. So we're just going to show you. We're not going to talk about any voicing techniques in this particular video. We're just going to show you the tools that we have available in order to do the hammer voicing. Now this right here, very basic hammer sandpaper file that we sell from AMS Piano Tools, which is where we get most of our tools. In fact, most of the tools we're going to show you today were made by AMS Piano Tools in Illinois, here in the U.S. And what this does is this just basically files the hammer. Again, we're not going to show you in great detail, but basically files the felt to remove and reshape the hammer so that you can get it back into into the correct shape that the hammer should be in, because that's an important part of providing and making good tone in the piano. Some of the other things are needle voicing tools. Here we've got a hammer voicing tool with a hardwood handle. It's kind of a pear-shaped handle that fits well in your hand. This one actually has 3 different positions. Okay, here we've got it's straight up from the handle, or if you adjust it and tighten it down, you can put it at an angle. So there's a partial angle, and then we've got another angle you can put it at also. This is good if you're working with upright hammers and you need to be able to get to the back side of the hammer without taking the action out. That works well. And this has 4 needles, which are replaceable. We have replacement needles available also, but it's got set screws here that hold the needles in place. I don't very often use 4 needles at once. Sometimes so you can take out 1 or more of those needles. Oftentimes I'll just use 1 needle at a time, so I'll take out 3 of the needles, and you can leave whichever one of the 4 that you want, or you can just use 3 needles, just depending on what your voicing technique is. But those are replaceable, and if you want to shorten them, you take the needles out and cut them to the length that you need with some kind of a wire nipper to make them the correct length. So that's the voicing. The other similar tool is the exact same tool except without the handle. So this one is specifically designed to be used in a combination tool handle. So that will go in the handle. This one I actually personally like a little bit better because the handle's a little bit longer, but it depends on the situation. For uprights or vertical pianos, so I'll often use this one. It's smaller and it gives a little more clearance when I'm working with the vertical hammers, but this is a nice one. It's got a little bit heavier handle if you're using our number 26 combination tool handle, but it has the same adjustments as the other, as the one with the handle. But so exact same tool, just without the handle. So those are our needle voicing tools. The other needle voicing tool is this single needle voicing tool, and this one is designed to be able to fit down between the strings of a grand piano. So if you're doing some final touch-up voicing, just need to put a few pricks in a couple hammers. This is a good one to be able to reach down between the strings of a grand piano and poke into the hammer as you need. So that's a really handy tool to have if you're doing grand piano voicing, because then you can play it without having to take the whole action out and actually do the voicing with the action in the piano. So that's and again this one. Yeah, some people have asked what the thing on the end is. This is actually the thing to loosen and tighten the set screw. Okay, that set screw is what holds the needle in place. So that needle is replaceable because needles do break. So if you're getting any of these needle voicing tools, I would recommend getting some replacement needles so that when you do break a needle, you've got some extras. So those are good to have. Now when you're doing grand voicing, these are hammer voicing rest blocks. We've got a smaller one. I think actually this one's called a medium one, and this is the large one that go underneath the hammers. Okay, so you would you'd put this underneath the backs of the hammers to hold it in place, and that way you can put your tool and be putting the voicing tool into the handle while the hammers are being supported by this block. Okay, so we've got a shorter one, works the same way, or the larger one, which covers a larger number of notes or hammers. So there's that. Another tool we've got here is the hammerhead smoothing iron. This is one with a handle. This particular one is just a manual one, so you have to actually heat the iron with some kind of a blowtorch or a lighter or something to heat that up. And what that does is that actually irons the felt to make a smoother, more finished surface on your hammer. Okay, so that's a hammerhead smoothing iron. We've got also the version here. This one is designed to go into a soldering iron. Okay, and this is the soldering iron that we sell, or one similar to it. So that way you can plug it in. You don't have to have a torch or anything to heat it up. You just plug in the soldering iron, and this will heat up for you. So if you want to iron your hammers that way. Okay, so those are hammerhead smoothing irons. The last one is, because most of these tools are made for mellowing down the tone or softening, fluffing up the felt a little bit. But if your hammers don't have enough tone and they're too dull sounding, we can use hammerhead hardening solution. So this is now we don't sell it in a liquid form. What we do is we sell it in the pellets. Okay, these are pellets actually to make your own hammerhead hardening solution. So what you would do is we've got it available with the bottle. Okay, so this bottle and this is enough to make 8 ounces of solution. So you'd put 8 ounces of acetone into the bottle, and then put the pellets in, and then you let that dissolve. It takes a few hours or overnight for the pellets to dissolve, and then what you would do is, especially in the upper end, if you don't have enough tone, is where I find the problem to be the most. Is you apply the solution to the hammer. Let that dry, and then usually right on the crown of the hammer you've got to do a little bit of poking with the voicing needle tool. So those are the tools that we have available at this point in time for hammer voicing. If you have any questions about this, we have all these tools available on our website, which is howardpianoindustries.com. You can go there and feel free to ask us if you have any questions.